You don't want to be making all your meat from stuff that's going to be higher fat, like the beef, the bison. You're going to go over your fats. You're going to have to get some leaner meats in there so you can have fats from a different source. So you might want to be making that with turkey, chicken, different kind of fishes, maybe low fat. So you guys are going to choose where you guys want your fat source from, or even carbohydrates. We'll talk about that in just a second. Okay. So use this to help plan out what you guys want to have. For your fat sources, okay, you guys, the biggest thing too is if you guys are making like eggs in the morning, you're putting butter in the pan or olive oil, or if you guys are putting some kind of oil in the pan, make sure you track that too. Because if you're doing 1 tablespoon of that, you can see that's, let's see, for the fat content, they're all about 14 grams. That's huge as far as calories if you're not counting that. Okay, so make sure you guys add that into as well.
Even like the spray.
The sprays, they'll have different macros on them. Those are a lot lower. Yeah, and it'll tell you like the macros. It might be like 4 grams of fat for a 1 second spray. Scan your stuff in. It's super easy to scan it in, and then you guys can just go from there. So watch all those. Now let's talk about carbohydrates. Okay, there's 3 different pages that you guys have for carbohydrates. These are based off of how fast they break down. And so the first page you guys should have is going to be the grains. These are going to be your slower acting carbohydrates. So these are going to be good to have throughout the day. These are great for before a workout right here. You can mix these with a fat too as well. So what that does is fats slow down the absorption rate of carbohydrates. So let's say you're going before your workout, you had a little bit of protein, you had some fats and one of these carbohydrates like oatmeal. That's going to help you have lasting energy throughout your workout. So these are slow acting carbohydrates. You don't get a huge spike of insulin from these guys, and they're slow acting. Okay, the next one that we have on here is going to be your sugars. This is going to be fruits. So this is a different kind of carbohydrate. This is fast acting. This will spike your insulin. The best time to have your fruits is going to be post-workout. Okay, you're going to be insulin sensitive from working out, so you're going to be able to shuttle those carbs in a lot faster. So since you're trying to shuttle that sugar in quick after a workout, you don't want to mix these with fats. Don't slow down that absorption rate. Okay. Now the last page is going to be your carbohydrates from vegetables. So these guys, very fibrous source right here. So these should be throughout your whole day. Okay. One thing that's very clear on all diets is it's high protein and high veggies for specific reasons of thermogenic effect of food. But these are going to be great sources to keep, well, you guys need fiber in your diet. I don't need to go into why you guys need fiber in your diet. Okay, so those are how those macros, did they just dip out? And then you just wanted to hear about the alcohol? That's it. I knew there was going to be that. Okay, so I went kind of fast on these. I want you guys to ask questions about the app. I want you to ask questions about the macros.
Make sure I got it right. The first page of the carbs, you mix with fat. The second page, which is the berries, don't mix with fat.
Correct.
And then the third one, it's okay, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
They're
you just
vegetables.
sign those throughout these vegetables.
Okay.
Unlimited amount of vegetables. Still track those veggies because those can add up pretty quick on the carbohydrates. We're not going to worry about the difference between regular carbs, net carbs. We're not going to separate any of that stuff. We're just going to make sure a carb is a carb. You want to make sure now when you're entering your macros that we gave you, MyFitnessPal already sets a fiber goal for you. You guys want to keep an eye on that. Make sure that you guys are hitting that fiber goal. If you're not, it means you're not having enough good carbohydrates. Okay, so if you had just fruits and sugary stuff all day, you're not going to hit your fiber goal. So that makes sure that you eat in your vegetables and some good grains, or slow-acting carbohydrates, I should say.
So for this app, we add our water intake, our exercise.
Okay, perfect question. I need to go over that. So what we did is we already created deficits on your guys' macros, so you guys are in calorie deficit. So do not enter in, so make sure it's not connected to any Apple Watch or any kind of tracker. Do not enter in your exercise because it's going to take away that deficit and it's going to give you food. So we created the deficit, that'll add it back in. You also don't want to enter in your weight. It's going to ask you to enter in your weight. If you're losing weight, don't enter it because it'll go back to making its own macros for you, and that completely clears our macros. We gave you the sheets, so if something happens, you can re-enter those, but don't ever do your weight and don't put your exercise. Water doesn't change anything. You can add your water if you want, but it's not going to give you different macros or anything like that. It's just a good way for you to track if you're having that. So with water too as well, you guys want to make sure you're having, you guys are having a good amount of water, but you also want to be making sure you have electrolytes too as well. So don't be carrying around a gallon trying to drink the whole gallon because you can't actually dehydrate yourself with drinking too much water. So let's say you were going to drink a gallon, put your coffee into it, the other drinks that you have, the liquids that you go into it, are going to go into that gallon, and then maybe have like a liter of that gallon be some kind of electrolyte too as well.
What do you suggest for that?
Yeah.
There's liquid IVs, which are from Costco, which are really great. They do have a little bit of carbohydrate, so you can scan those guys in. There's NUUN. Those are little tablets you can put in your water. Those are really good. Those are just electrolyte, and it flavors your water. You guys can use something as simple as like a Gatorade Zero.
What was the first thing you said from Costco?
Liquid IV.
Liquid IBE.
And that's a flavoring?
There is a flavor, and I think they come in like raspberry or lemon lime. Those things are really awesome.
And they're low in aspartame and things like that?
That one I'm not sure about. There should be some companies out there that have them. You guys can just Amazon or Google some good ones if you're worried about artificial sweeteners like that.
BCAA okay?
Branched chain amino acids are okay. Yes, you can have those. You can have a lot of those throughout the day. So you can, if you're gonna, what are you using for muscle recovery? You're gonna have it before food.
I usually do it like
During a workout, you can do it during the workout. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of mixed research with branched chain amino acids right now. So I'm not going to give like a full recommendation of everybody needs to have them because they're saying at certain doses they're good, at certain doses they're not. But those are good for during a workout.
What about like early morning nutrition before a workout?
Early morning nutrition before workout. Okay, so I think I know what you're talking about. So there's a couple of different things. So one, you have to know if you're going to eat food before you come to the gym early morning and you're going to throw it up, don't eat. Okay. But there's the opposite. If you're going to come to the gym and you're going to crash, then you probably want to eat. So everybody's completely different. And if we asked everybody, can you work out with a full stomach versus empty, they'll probably tell you something different. So that becomes very individual. Now, I don't know if you're talking about that or if you're just talking about fasted workouts in general.
Both, kind of.
Both? Okay, so there's no good research that shows that fasting before a workout is superior to not. Okay, there's going to be research that shows that you have good stable glucose levels and you're going into it with fuel for your workout. There's also good research with the intermittent fasting. So they actually work out and they'll be fasting and it can help with clarity. So you guys have to decide what's best for you. Try doing a workout without, try doing a workout with. I personally have to eat before. I'm not caring about those calories because I'm just trying to be as tense as I can in the gym. And I never feel like I'm going to get sick. Now, if I go into it without, I'll feel like I'm going to pass out because my intensity is super high when I work out. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah. What would you recommend for quick?
Quick
before workout?
Quick nutrients before workout?
Yeah.
So I would try to have a protein, a fat, and a carbohydrate. So one thing that we like to make before that we recommend for clients is like make your own protein balls. So you can take like a scoop of oatmeal, you can take some peanut butter or some kind of fat, almond butter, and then have like a scoop of actual protein shake, mix it all up in a protein ball. So it's fast acting, it's gonna be, so you don't have to break down any proteins, like you're not gonna have like steak and eggs before or something like that, something's gonna sit in your gut. So you're gonna have a quick protein source, you're gonna have some fats, and they're gonna slow down the absorption rate of that carbohydrate before your workout. And I would say it's clear, safe is gonna be 45 minutes to 30 minutes before.
Have you ever used quinoa in one of those protein balls, or does that taste weird?
I've never personally done it, but you can try it. I don't know.
What's a good time frame for after a workout to try and get your protein in?
So there's this big thing with research saying that you have to get your protein shake in after your workout to be anabolic and all that stuff. There's no specific time. I drink a protein shake after because I'm always hungry, but I don't want to have a full meal because I feel like I'm going to throw up. So I have a protein shake, but there is no specific anabolic time window with that. So you can even wait and just have a regular meal if you want.
What do you put in your protein shake?
My protein shake, I just do protein in water. I do straight up. You can do it with milk, you can do that stuff. But mainly when I'm having any kind of protein shake, it's either going and I'm mixing that with my yogurt, or I'm just having it post-workout and I don't want anything else with it because I usually feel sick after my workouts.
So I make smoothies at home, so like blending fruits still counts the same as eating them whole, right? I mean,
Yes.
same thing.
It does, same thing. If you guys are like me and you hate vegetables, you guys can blend your veggies too. That's a great way to get vegetables in, is if you're gonna make smoothies, you can actually put your vegetables into that and drink it. I've done that in the past and it helps get my vegetables in because I hate eating broccoli. I'll just blend some kind of spinach and my shaking. Okay, does everybody understand how to enter in macros, how the app is gonna work, how you're gonna get a baseline, and you're gonna enter your foods in, and you just have to tweak stuff up. Now, there's gotta be somebody in here thinking, okay, I'm gonna make all my macros off of fast food because I can just put it in there. You guys still want quality of food, so you're gonna choose from this list. Now, that's not to say that you guys can't have, we don't provide cheat days or cheat meals, but if you guys are craving something, put that in your macros beforehand. So let's say you want to go out to dinner, you know what you're going to have. Put that in your macros for dinner, and then backtrack and see what you have to eat like for the rest of the day to still hit your macros with having that meal. You always want to have a game plan. Don't hit your full macros and then go have that meal because then you're going to take yourself out of where we want to be.
How about like chips and salsa?
Chips and salsa. So if you
You don't
are
have to
craving
count
chips
that?
and salsa, what's that?
You don't count that?
Oh, you gotta count it. So with chips and salsa, you can, if that's what you're craving and you want, make sure it fits into your macros, and then put that in there. I mean, I wouldn't say eat chips and salsa every day, but you can scan the bag of chips and it'll tell you like it's really depressing because it's like 30 carbs and you get like 8 chips. So, but that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get your 8 chips out, and you're probably gonna go through the bag and find the biggest ones that aren't crushed. And then what you can do your salsa too, 2 tablespoons into that in your macros. So you still hit your macros, you still hit your goals, but you had to switch your craving. So that's how you're going to use that. Just make sure it fits into everything. Don't be doing that on top of everything because that starts to add up. Okay, so I'm trying to think what we missed.
Dessert's the same way.
Dessert is the same way. You want to track everything. Okay. And then calories with track your drinks. That's another big one too. Obviously, if you're having water or something that's 0 carb, you don't need to. But so many times people won't be losing weight, but they don't think to enter in their Starbucks because they think that they're getting a skinny latte. Anybody ever look up what a skinny latte really is? It's not very skinny. So when you start adding that stuff up, they're going over their macros every day from those. So enter in those too as well.
What's your opinion on diet sodas? Since they were like 0 everything, but
I personally like diet sodas. There's a big group out there that says you don't drink it because artificial sweeteners are going to give you cancer. The amount of research that's shown that it actually gives you cancer, you have to drink a lot of the artificial sweeteners. But over time, it does break down stuff in your gut too as well, which will be linked over to Alzheimer's, and that's where they start making all these studies. So I think that's going to be a big personal thing. If you have a weak gut and you're more prone to mental disorders in your family, maybe stay away from it. Go and do the research with it. I don't have a problem with it. Artificial sweeteners don't hurt my stomach. We have clients, as soon as it touches it, it's like game on there. It's like Armageddon in their stomach. Those things you have to learn about yourself too as well.
So like Crystal Light and that sort of thing, it's okay if you can handle it?
If you can handle it, I don't have a problem with anything like Crystal Light or something like that.
All the chlorinated sugars, all of them bump your insulin, and then about 2 hours later, it makes you crave carbohydrate like it's going out of style. So all the chlorinated sugars bump up your insulin, and then 2 hours later, you're going to do chips, potatoes, whatever.
You guys hear that? So it can increase. There's a lot of brain stuff with that. Insulin responses, cortisol responses, hormone responses. So those things, that is a study that has been shown that the people that drink diet sodas and stuff like that actually can consume more because of those cravings. So a lot of it comes, your gut is more mental than anything because through your gut is where you get all your neurotransmitters for your brain. So your gut is really your main brain, and then this is your brain. So what you put into your gut controls your mood, different hormone responses, that kind of stuff. So same thing like what Mark just said, if you guys are drinking that, but you find yourself hungrier, cut it out. Okay. We can argue anyway on any kind of research. So I know it's super annoying, but.
What if I find that I'm hungry all the time?
So there's different things that you can do with that. If you're hungry all the time, we might have to just talk about moving your macros up. We can change up your macronutrients where you can have like a higher fat diet. That will usually keep you cool a little bit longer. and you might just be running through your carbohydrates. I know you like to do run-ins and maybe all that kind of stuff, so you just might need either more food or we just might have to switch up your macros. You might just be burning through your carbohydrates too quick and just always hungry. So we can usually change it up with fats. Fats will keep you fuller for a little bit longer.
And day one is Monday.
Day one, it's up to you guys. This is
Okay.
your guys' challenge. Some people are going to start today. Some people are going to be, they're probably out partying right now and they're going to start on Monday. It's whenever you want. People will probably start Monday, I would say, because today they got the info. We're going to upload this stuff to our YouTube, and then Sunday's going to be prep day.
What's the final date? Like, what's the end date? Like 6 weeks from Monday?
Is October 26th? The 26th. So we're gonna have weigh-ins, and we're gonna put, as we get closer to it, we're gonna put in times for you guys to come in, and we're gonna do the same thing on October 25th and 26th. We're gonna have those times that you can come in and do those finals, which is where we'll do another in-body, and we will do the pictures too as well. We might, if everybody's interested, have a talk about where to go from here with your macros, because it shouldn't just be a 6-week challenge, like you just go super hard and then boom, you're done and now I'm gonna eat a bunch of food. You wanna try to avoid yo-yo dieting, because it's just gonna make you worse in the long run. The whole point of this should just be to kickstart you, and then from there, whether it be a maintenance program for you or reverse dieting, we can have a lecture about that and teach you guys where to go from here. But don't think this is just like a show that you're gonna just go hard and then boom back up. So use this as your kickstart.
There's a guy who wrote a book. He knows more about nutrition than I'll ever know. A guy named Dr. Mark Hyman, Hyman. He's been on PBS and whatnot. The book is Eat Fat, Get Thin, and it has a lot of olive and avocado oil in it and high fiber stuff. But he's very knowledgeable about nutrition. If you wanted to use those recipes to meal prep with, they would be pretty helpful.
Right? Yep. There's a lot of good resources out there. You guys are your best resource too. I would make friends with people on MyFitnessPal, because you guys can share recipes with it. You guys can go look at the stuff. You guys can, and you guys as well can become friends with me, and you guys can see my food. And if you guys have questions, I can go look at your macros. And it's Turning Point Gym. So you'd find that through the friends in MyFitnessPal, and you would just add us. You'd add our name, Turning Point Gym. Make sure you put your name so I know who it is, and then you have to go into your privacy and set it up so that I can see your food that you're sharing. And if you guys have questions, we can go look at it. Now with the challenge, we still have to break everybody down into teams. So it's going to be myself, Brandon, Nick, and Fran. So if you guys have questions, you guys can ask your person those questions too as well. I'll probably send out something. So I think it was Josh that had a good point that if you guys don't know about the app, it's called GroupMe, right?
Yeah.
So there's an app called GroupMe. I've used it before, and you guys can create a group with the 20. We might talk about doing that because you don't have to give out phone numbers or anything like that. You just join that app, and they can get invited to that group. And then that way, when it's done, you can delete it or do whatever you want with that. And then that way, we can have our groups in that group app too as well. So if you guys have questions, if you guys want to talk about a specific topic, that's a good point where we should do it. So we'll let you guys know about that because we got to pick all those, and then we'll probably have those posted on Monday because everybody should be finished doing their weigh-ins, and then everybody will get this and start their macros too as well. We'll let you guys know who's going to be your leader for this challenge too.
So I know that the group is different than what we've done in the past.
Mhm.
Is it just as like an extra piece of encouragement, or
But it's
there gonna be
encouragement. It's they're gonna keep closer track on you instead of one person trying to, because there's 86 I think people join this thing. So instead of one person trying to keep track of that many people, we're gonna break it down to each trainer. Those trainers are doing the challenge with you too as well. So we'll be able to narrow it down closer with that, whatever it might be. We'll have to see the final number, maybe 22 people. So that'll be a little bit more focused, and you guys within that group can keep each other motivated and going and stuff like that. So it's going to hold you more accountable too, because now it takes a group from 80 where you can hide in the shadows to 20, so people are going to call you out.
I see on the board it says t-shirt size. Is that something that?
That was something that we guesstimated for you guys. We just sized you guys up. Like, okay, we need this person. Especially Nick, who sized him up.
Double
Extra small, you know. Okay.
So you said that if you put your weight in on the MyFitnessPal, so mine's resetting every day. It's resetting my goals. How do you take your weight off? Because if you do your profile, it doesn't show an area to take the weight off.
So you just don't ever, do you enter in your weight every day?
No, I entered my weight originally when I first did it. Now I can't take it off. Do I have to?
That's okay. Yeah, it'll ask you what to weigh in. Just don't weigh in. Just say no. It doesn't matter if you put your weight in. You have to put your weight in and all your when you set up your profile.
Yeah.
Like mine says my weight. I don't know what it says, because that was probably 3 or 4 years ago when I set it up. So
Yeah.
you just make sure you don't update your weight. You
Yeah.
don't have your weight in it, but
Okay.
if it says, hey Patrick, it's time to weigh in, don't go enter it because it'll redo it.
Okay.
Yeah. But if anything goes weird, we've had it, and then that's not the only time it resets. Sometimes they send out an update. There's been times where the app just stopped working and they reset people's stuff. It's not flawless. So you guys have your macros. That way, if you have to enter it back in, you do it manually.
Okay.
Now, on those sheets too, you guys are going to notice, which I need to talk about, is that you will see when you enter those in, it's not going to be those exact numbers that are on there. That's okay. When we set up our Excel spreadsheet, we use the exact formula. So it's like actual, like 1 gram of protein is like 4.3 something. They round it up. So theirs might be a little bit higher, might be a little lower, depending on what it is. I don't remember what it's set at. It's going to give you that goal. You're never going to hit these numbers exactly. I don't want you guys to obsess about this. So the whole point of this nutrition is that this should fit into your lifestyle. I don't want you walking around thinking I have to hit 120, I have to hit the 64. I don't want weird foods in there. I don't want you guys talking about stomach aches because you eat peanut butter and pickle to try to hit that. Like, get close, but don't hit it exact. Okay, don't worry about that part of it because it's just going to drive you insane and it's going to be more of a stressor than anything, and then you're probably going to gain weight. Okay.
So how far off should you be, like, per day?
Now that's real specific on how much you want to change. I mean, if you're getting to like 80 and like 50, and this is like evening, but you're staying under your calories, that's gonna get you. You know, it's like how much of a percent do you want to put into it. So this is probably too low. You want to get closer with your macros. But if you're just looking at, you know, if you're coming in